Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Lineage Break Live, a Grand Archive TCG live show. My name, Cam, me run show. With me, Steven. Hello, Steven.
Hello, Cameron.
Good morrow to you
Happy
on this fine
Friday. Hello, Break Nation.
You know, it's October.
Spooky month.
It's like 50 degrees out. It's pretty chill, man. I came in today and I put on two different shirts over my regular shirt. It's good to be here. We're happy to be here. Hello, everybody.
This guy's wearing a boy on his shirt?
Yeah, no, you like my CL shirt? I don't know if I told this anecdote on the show why I have this CL shirt, but it was at Boston, I think, and my glorious boss, one Shinja TV TM32, for whatever reason refuses to get me a shirt like that says production on it or whatever, so people know that I work production. So I don't have a uniform, and so we can wear GA merch as our uniform because it's on brand or whatever for the company. And this is the only one that was in my size.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have this boy shirt, so now I wear it here. 17 here. I don't even know what that means.
He's not using freedom numbers.
What does that mean? Is it the surface of the sun? I don't understand.
Yeah. He's not using freedom numbers, so I don't know what that means.
Hello, everybody. Are we going to Banish Zone Regionals? I'm not. Steve? Are you
no,
PA?
because they sold out.
Yeah, they sold out. Congrats to Banish Zone. They have 100 people going or something.
Yeah,
so some of the team is going, I think.
Joy Boy and I don't know how to say his name, so I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna dox him. Or
Richard.
Yeah, Richard. Audier and Richard of Team Lineage Break will be there.
Mixashi is what it says on his jersey.
Mixashi.
Yeah,
so Joy Boy and Mixashi will be there, and I believe that is end of list.
But say hello to them. They'll be wearing jerseys. You'll know who they are. Hope you're all doing well. Hello. Today, we have some lore to talk about, because for the first time ever since,
the entirety of the world.
Since DOA or something. We have gotten the second lore article for a character. So we have Diana 2 to talk about.
Yeah, not only second lore, back to back, baby.
I know.
There's a 3-week grace period in between these two articles, and I hope that is the cadence going forward.
Yeah, I do want to chat a little bit about that as well. But in addition to that, we have one new tidbit from Mr. Silidar. We've made the declaration that it's unlikely that we get enough tidbits to do tidbit episode number 2, so we will be covering them as they come out. We're not going to read the lore, but you can follow along with the lore. It's quite long, so we'd be here for 20 minutes reading. But we'll try to talk about it in order. Things that stood out to us. So feel free to follow along. Feel free to pop back in if you haven't read the lore, and you can watch that section of the show later, man. But yeah, it's cool. It's good to be here. We had our store championship. We had our championship last weekend.
Store championship.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a reasonable number of people. It was 18, I think.
Yes, sir. 18, 5 rounds, cut to top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did okay. 2-2-1. Lost my winning in to one Richie.
Lineage Break Mixashi.
Lineage Break Mixashi or Richie. I lost to him playing Merlin.
Cringe.
Yeah, he did.
Merlin players.
Yeah.
What the?
Hey, they don't have to do anything, and they put a deer into play and double fireball you. It's pretty good.
Those cards are good.
It's like we're playing FTC again. But yeah, overall it was fine. I got 4th place at the one that we had on Sunday.
Was that a cut, or did they just
it was just
rounds?
Yeah, just rounds. Which I lost round 1 to one Lineage Break Bubba
Gooner,
which is yeah. It was all right. I had 2-0'd him at our store championships, and then he 2-0'd me at this one. So it was like, back and forth.
That Bubba Gunner's having a pretty good week. You were just telling me as we were coming in.
Yeah. That guy's pretty lucky.
Luckiest man alive.
Bought 2 of the new packs of One Piece, opened the chase card, the $1,000 chase card.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I opened 2 packs, opened a $1,000 card. He sold it immediately back to the store so that he could pre-order PTM.
Correct. And also bought me a gift, and that was sweet of him.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
What a sweet guy.
Yeah.
Piece of shit, but sweet guy.
He bought me the full art version of my character in the One Piece game.
Cool.
I was very happy. But yeah, that was store championships for me, at least. It was pretty good. There was only 8 people at Let's Play, so there no top cut makes sense.
Yeah,
because it's just clean.
Yeah, it's just 8 people.
Yeah, clean 3
it
rounds.
It is top cut.
Right.
You start in top cut. Congrats on your top 8.
Right. It's a clean 3 rounds. So, yeah. But
they should have done a cut to top 8. It should have been 8-man cut to top 8. That 6 rounds.
So funny.
You're just playing for seeding.
Yeah. Just round robin, play everyone once. Best record wins.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's only 7 rounds. Yeah, that's not bad. I like that.
But
yeah, we've had that happen as well. We try to encourage people to do top cuts for store champs around here, but as Steve said, it's hard when you only have 8 people to make that make sense. It's usually when we have 16 plus or whatever that we do a cut to top 4, etc. New England is a burgeoning community. That's what we're gonna call it. So it's it's a little bit lower attendance for like store championships and stuff. You only get the big turnouts for regionals.
Yeah. I was actually like pleasantly surprised though. Like recently we've had, I don't know, but like 8 to 10 new players showing up. It's been crazy. Like the growth has just been insane. Like all of these events are just selling out constantly. It's just like,
I should do more due diligence in like asking people why they play GA, because it's been happening a lot. I've been having a lot of people come into the store unprompted, which is always a bit of a shock. Like whenever somebody walks into the store, I'm like, oh, you here for Spider-Man or whatever. But it's always a shock when people come in for GA. Somebody came in sold us some stuff in a CUR like 2 days ago that I'd never met in my life, or CSR.
I was like,
I wish.
What CUR did you buy?
Bro. Oh yeah, I'd be buying all those Alice's. It's just been I don't know if this is a result of Boston, which is colloquially would make sense, big event, but I don't assume that Boston is very good for new player acquisition, right? I don't think Ascents are driving lots of new players. It's people that are familiar with GA or have a friend that plays GA or something, maybe go to Boston to, enfranchise themselves. But it seems unlikely that somebody that knows nothing about the game just goes to Boston and plays, right?
Right.
So I wonder if it's DTR, because DTR is so sick that I think it's getting a lot of people involved. I think there was a poll, which is worth talking about. Shout out to one Mitchell Marketplace that did a poll on players' favorite set so far, and I think the winner was I think the winner was DTR for set, but it was Azoth for
world
location, but it was pretty close. And it's unclear, I think Sil responded to it and it's I wonder if this is recency bias or whatever. And that's definitely possible, but I do think that the DTR is just overall going to be really popular. Yeah, it was there was 292 votes. Most popular was DTR at 78. Second most was MRC at 47. So it was pretty big. Third was ALC. So MRC and ALC pretty popular. I think for good reason. I think it's really cool when GA gets to do their own
I was going to say
IP stuff.
I'm not shocked at all that the GA specific worlds are doing better.
Yeah, I do. We've talked about it on the show, and I do feel like it's hard because like I don't have that childhood connection with Three Kingdoms that I know a lot of the devs do, and you know a lot of people do have a connection to that world and those characters. But it did feel a little bit more rigid because there is so many unique characters and so many like things that you have to treat correctly,
right?
Because you know the work is so well known and established that you can't bend the rules too much, and so it felt like at least from a story perspective, it was a little bit more rigid in AMB Mortal Ambition. So,
or even with DTR being loosely based off Alice in Wonderland,
yeah,
it as long as you keep that sense of whimsy, you can kind of bend that story to however you want it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it feels like the characters in something like Alice in Wonderland or even DOA, FTC, the Arthurian Legend set, they're way more malleable, I guess is a way to put it, right? Like Mad Hatter as a sort of, or Cheshire Cat or whatever, as a sort of like theme is less a literal person, right? They have sort of like a vibe, and you follow their vibe, but you can
do whatever
be pretty
right.
malleable.
And
with
I think
it.
that is why there's a lot of anime and spin-off things from Alice in Wonderland that create those characters in a different light.
Right.
But like you were saying, they keep the same vibe of the character, so it still feels like Alice in Wonderland. Whereas like you were saying with Three Kingdoms, all of those characters are pretty much like you kind of have to stick with it, or else you're.
Yeah, we turned them into big Bobby anime women, but like they were still very much the same characters.
Your story beats kind of have to stay the same.
Right. So yeah, I think that's probably why that is, and lessons learned or whatever. I don't think that like AMB or HVN was bad by any means, but I can see why people have more of a connection, especially a Western audience has more of a connection with
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, yeah.
But I'm holding out hope. Cyberpunk set's gonna go crazy. At least for me. That's for me.
Here's hoping, man. My my hot prediction is that that's set 10. But
hopefully,
yeah, I don't know. It was on. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was on an interview that we did, but I was just like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any information, but I think there is something that maybe alludes to that being the case, but I think it's it's something that they've mentioned surely a couple of times. Just sort of like as an example, I think like when they were talking about how they wanted to handle worlds in GA and how they weren't shy about them being like pretty divergent.
Right.
But I do think that you want to sort of root the game in a sort of feel first, and it's a very like fantasy forward game. We do have like a little bit of technology, obviously, like Umbra Diana, etc. ALC had like a vague sort of steampunk thing going on, it was like less actually mechanical, even though it was an automaton set. It wasn't like didn't feel like a future set.
I was gonna say like it does and like feel steampunky, but then you look at the automatons and none of them, they're like practically human.
Yeah.
And it's kind of insane where it's just like, well, you're like steampunk, yet like these are flawless robots.
Yeah, we have like a furnace drone and like Overlord MK3, or like I can like point to like this is a robot, right? But like most of them,
it's like Rose, and you're like, that's just a hot girl.
She's just a hot girl, and to be fair, if we're making robots in the modern day, I don't want them to look like robots. I want them to look like Rose. So like, I get it.
Yeah, I also am a big fan of hot women as robots.
Yeah.
Look at Ava Unit 1. That's a hot woman as a robot.
Yeah. Yeah. Spoilers, I guess. True.
If anyone is upset that I just spoiled,
nobody understands.
Right.
You know,
I know.
Like,
That one was for me.
Right?
That was one for me.
That one's for you, Chad. Did you watch Ava? we just got to poke you every once in a while and be like, we have watched anime, not in current year, but we have watched anime.
If you want a reference from an anime from 20 years ago, I got you.
Easy peasy for sure. But yeah, so speaking of, I guess, I guess before we do lore and stuff, because that'll be, I assume, the bulk of today's episode, let's fast forward ourselves.
Okay.
Where in 2 weeks, we have Ascent Niagara.
Yes.
And we have to assume, based on the history of Grand Archive.
Which we do a lot.
That is true. We are assumers based on the history, but we're, I would say usually right. We've got to be getting design notes soon. Surely not at Niagara because it would take too long, but probably shortly thereafter. Maybe after Auckland, because Auckland is like the week after, so maybe it's like Niagara, Auckland, design notes shortly thereafter or whatever. But it does have to be before Akihabara, which is like the third week of December, and after Niagara, which is 2 weeks from now. So it means that we are swiftly approaching learning what is going on in PTM. And as we swiftly approach, as we talked about last week, Silidar, the lead designer of Grand Archive, puts out tidbits for the new set, little hints about what's going on, some things that you can expect if you want to check us talk about the first
7.
Maybe there's 2 then.
There's
I saw
2.
9
there's
today.
2.
I didn't even read 8, so that's good. If you want to hear us talk about the first 7, we did that last week. Please check out that episode. We had a lot of fun doing it. But we are of the mind, as we said at the beginning of the show, that we probably won't get enough of these to do another full dedicated episode, so we are going to give you the do live update as we get them. So, Steven, I literally haven't read it. Hit me with that PTM tidbit number 8.
PTM tidbit number 8. A keyword that used to only appear on object cards now appears on non-object type cards.
Oh, I love these. We had one of these last
2 sets ago.
That was last. It was the Looking Glass with Omni Shroud. Right?
Oh yeah. And there was also the one before that where it was ambush.
True. That was where they made it a keyword.
Yeah. It was like an effect that wasn't a keyword is now a keyword.
So this is a keyword that's only on objects. Objects.
And now appears on
non-object cards. So it's like, it's something that's on allies or whatever that they put onto attacks. What? So like allies is the thing that makes the most sense, right? You think about like what sort of ally keyword can you staple to an attack? And it can't be like stealth, that doesn't matter, right? But like something like that, you feel me? What is only on object cards? Chat, help me out. Usually I'm like pretend prepared. You know how like, when a rapper goes on to like radio show or whatever, you go on the Sway in the morning or whatever, surely nobody's freestyling, right? Like it's all pre-prepared, but they give them a beat and they're just doing a verse that they already rehearsed. That's me all the time. It's like I read these ahead of time, I figure out, this is what keyword it could be, but I literally didn't even know this existed until now. So on attack, gather, Pog, but gather is on non-object cards. Correct. Unfortunately. Reservable would be wild. I don't even know how that works. Balance spell, that's a pretty good shout. That's cool. Balance is only on permanents right now. That'd be pretty sick.
Ephemeral,
true.
Give flashback to spells.
Oh, that would be really cool, actually. I wonder what would happen. It can't like go to your hand, right?
What?
Like if it has ephemeral.
No,
it just like goes back onto the fucking effect stack.
So you cast it, right?
Yeah.
And then it just has the ability where you can cast it out of your graveyard. And when you do cast it out of your graveyard, it becomes ephemeral and you banish it.
Sure. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah.
It's just Omni Shroud again. It's so funny.
Omni Shroud, you can't counter this spell.
Yeah. It's interesting because I keep trying to think that it's going to be on an attack, but this is a... What other classes in this set? It's cleric and I don't care. What else?
Assassin.
Okay, right. Merlin. So yeah, it could be on an attack, I guess. Assassin's an attack pilled class. Yeah, it's just Omni Shroud again. It's really funny.
I guess like
ephemeral is flavor for sure.
Ephemeral on attacks is cool.
Yeah.
You like attack and then maybe it like makes an ephemeral copy on the stack.
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm saying.
Slice and dice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like some sort of slice and dice, or they give it this is how you do uncounterable, which I think is pretty cool. Like if this card is negated, you create an ephemeral copy of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which could be cool. That's how you get your pseudo uncounterable.
Yeah, I like that.
That'd be neat. Command. Those are only on non-attacks, though, right?
What commands are only on?
Yeah.
They're only on attacks.
They're only on attack cards,
right? So they're They're already on non-permanents.
Yeah.
Like you have command will, right?
Commanded will is the. True.
So you could have like commanded will on a non-object card.
Yeah, that is true. Because that's only we only have one goddamn card with commanded will on it, right?
Incorrect.
It's more than Lily.
All of the MRC alter stuff.
Those are command automaton.
Yeah, but they also have commanded will, I believe. I think there's a creature.
Oh, that gets bigger?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I believe so.
Yeah. Interesting. True,
if I remember correctly, but yeah.
Could do that. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I really liked the idea of ephemeral.
Yeah, we're going to lock that one in.
Where you cast it and...
It's cool. Yeah.
It's just flashback.
We're just trying to align with the flavor of the set, right? And it's like, assumingly, at least based on the product sheet, it's going to be like pretty ghosty pilled. So I think we're going to get some ephemeral stuff, some specters or whatever, because, the whole sort of theme of the lost or whatever the fuck's going on.
Right. And I assume we'll feel the Ryle absence when the set comes out more. Because I've been missing Ryle since the ban. However, I know that's unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming once we see the set, people are going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, Ryle deserved to go then.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of the time that GA makes ban list decisions, and rightfully so, not throwing any shade, but they bury the lead a little bit.
Yeah.
We always call back to the erupting ban that they just banned at the start of a season. They announced ahead of time that they were banning it at the start of the season.
They banned it right before A and B came out. And we're like, what? We've seen the set. There's nothing in it that makes us broken. Right. And then HVN came out and was filled with melodies and harmonies. And
slide songs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. So, and I think that goes along with a lot of the other decisions that they've made as well. Mm-hmm. We've talked a lot recently about Mercenaries Dagger being Mercenaries Blade, whatever that card's called.
Blade.
Being on category 2.
Right.
And at the time we were like, why? I don't sure, it's a good card, but I don't get it. And now that we know that we're getting a Crux Assassin, Mercenaries Blade with your Ghost Pendragon is pretty cursed.
Right. I would put money on it that gets jumped before the release of PTM.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They might let it fly.
Yeah, maybe they just give it
give your one event
up until it's Manila is before Europe.
Yeah, first one is Manila. Yeah.
So
January 3rd.
Exactly in Manila we'll get and then before Europe it'll be like bang.
Hey guys, maybe Merlin sucks. Okay.
Maybe
Merlin sucks.
Have
you guys considered maybe Merlin sucks?
I was hoping this, but I was thinking about it even if all 3 Merlins have 0 text.
Yeah.
That combo you just play wind Merlin and
you only get 4 ghosts, man. Do whatever you want. I don't care. You want to like bounce your ghost? Like I don't
You
give a
bounce
shit.
your ghost. It gives you all of the wind like all the preparation counters you need from.
For what? You're a crux.
To get your mercenary played out.
No, I agree. You can draw a billion cards. I'm just like, it's not FTC anymore. If you play Wind Merlin, you don't do anything. You're probably still going to die. People are just going to kill you.
Slice and Dice is a hell of a card, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. She won't have 28 health. That's true. It'd be a 25 health banger. Nah, she won't suck. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
listen,
know.
Domingo, I'm trying to the copium. She doesn't run the game for another 5 years. Listen, man, Steve's still complaining about dying to FTC Merlin. We're getting a new one.
Yeah.
Do we ever escape from the boot heel on our neck?
Nope.
All right, Steven.
Cameron.
Tidbit number 9.
Tidbit number 9.
I saw this one.
This is a
morning.
little weird one.
Yeah, I like it. New tidbit format, I hear.
Yeah.
New format dropped. Who does?
Tidbit number 9. New tidbit format. And then there is a screenshot of what appears to be
Index. Yeah.
It's a summary showing one of two total cards. The element is wind. The set is Phantom Monarchs. The type contains unique ally. So that means there's 2 wind unique allies coming out in Phantom Monarchs.
I'm so excited when I'm just unapologetically right about everything ever, right? And a bunch of you people out there are like, oh, we're going to get more suit support and they're going to make it green or whatever, or blue. I don't think that makes any sense. I think we are going to get more suit support, but I think it's deliberately supposed to be a fire
norm.
Yeah, fire norm archetype. So I think we will get clubs and diamonds, but it will still be diamonds are red, clubs are black in norm. And so here's your proof. We're only getting 2 win uniques. That is surely not enough if they were suit support. I assume one of them is going to be a new Briar.
Oh, like a woken up Briar?
Yeah, we saw some art. I think it was it wasn't in the product sheet. It was maybe when they announced it. I remember they showed us some art, and it was like Briar, like floating and doing all sorts of crazy shit. So I assume we get a new Briar. I don't know what the other one is, but that's my only. That one's probably true.
I'm still not convinced that we get the other 2 suits. I still think it's just going to be hearts and spades.
Yeah, maybe. It could be. I think it would be cool.
I'm
to,
having
like,
a
sort
hard
of
time.
holistically complete it, though. I think it would be really cool. Like, I'm not a suits player. I just really like I like a pretty.
Oh, you want like Full House or something?
Yeah. Well, I do love the like extorted blackjack. The count to 21 shit is really cool. I think Rouge and Noir are really cool, and so I think it would be super sick if you are June and you have $65 billion and you could play 16 aces or whatever, and they're all CSR. Like, would be giga sick. So
I just don't remember all 4 suits in Alice in Wonderland, but I might be incorrect.
Oh sure, yeah. I don't. I read like a Cliff Notes.
Right.
Alice in Wonderland. I don't actually know.
This picture is on X.com, posted by Grey Wolf, which is Siladar's X account.
Birdseye says, "Did you read the watermark on the picture? What? There's a watermark? Are we talking about something else?" Oh my God, there is a watermark. I can't see it. What the hell? What does this say? What does it say?
The first word says actually.
Actually,
something.
What? That's insane. How did anyone notice that? That's crazy. Shout out to
something. It's something meant.
Freak. Guys, tell me what this says. This is crazy. My eyes aren't good enough. I'm old. Holy man.
The back half of the second word is meant. It says actually something meant.
I think there's a space in there. It's like actually something space something.
Check the metadata.
Check the metadata? How do you even do that? I'm such a boomer, Domingo. I don't know how to do any of this shit. I have no idea how to do any of that, but thank you. Check the metadata. I'm on my phone. Can I do that on my phone? Can I hold and load in 4K? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I don't remember that. Man, that's crazy. That is okay. Nobody has any idea. That is a crazy new tidbit format, if that watermark means anything. Yeah, if it's just like the watermark for this being not public index, that's fine. But if they like actually just hid information in there,
that's crazy.
That's pretty sick. But yeah, only 2 unique wind allies is pretty low, to be fair. But what did wind do in DTR?
Nothing.
It's like basically nothing, right?
Right. You got CL got a bunch of the things that create tokens that are all pretty unplayable in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously there's wind cards, surely. I just mean, like, you can, like, point to archetypes, right? But, like, what was the wind?
There isn't one.
Archetype.
It's like creating vacuous.
Yeah, it's like you mildly make vacuous servants.
Right.
Diana does some wind stuff with some aether charges.
I didn't even know that there was wind aether charges.
Yeah, there's a couple, yeah.
I know she has a wind stick, but I didn't realize there was wind aether charges.
Yeah, wind is pretty sad in DTR. And I wonder, at least having this information that we're only getting 2 wind uniques, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be like a wind focused set, but like that is a barometer that we can use. And we've seen already like kind of a lot of support for water and fire, at least with the announcement of like these unique allies, which we can briefly talk about as well. But yeah, I wonder maybe it's not a wind pilled block. It says admin something meant. Yeah, it's probably just a watermark for non-public index, which is obviously true. You can't go on index and find these BTM cards.
That'd be crazy if you could.
Yeah, that's the tidbit. It's like, yeah, the whole set's up. Just like go look at it. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's very clear to me that suits, obviously being the archetype from DTR, will get some support, probably less than DTR, because there's a lot of suit support and that deck already functions. But that is a red archetype. And then Chessman, which got very little support, being a blue archetype, will get a ton of support, assumingly, but I assume will still be a blue archetype. So I wonder what they're doing with wind, or if maybe wind's just taking a backseat. Yeah, we have seen that, times in the past. I mean, if you guys remember, before DTR was HVN, and there was like 2.5 fire cards, and that's it, right? Yeah. Like basically no fire cards last block. So yeah, it's okay that we like see a cycle, right? Like obviously everything's not going to be created equal, so we might just be low on the wind support this block, and maybe that's evident from these cards. I do think one is Briar. I don't know about the other one. That's all.
Briar makes sense.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. And Briar's got to be important. We're getting lots of Snow White stuff going on. I'm like convinced there's some weird Snow White stuff going on that hopefully we'll learn when they put out the lore for BTM. But it is important to note for everybody at home that Snow White, the character, not an Alice in Wonderland character. It's a pretty big deal. Briar, Schwartz King, also not an Alice in Wonderland character. And they're the only 2.
Spirel, Schwartz Queen.
Yeah. Who knows?
Also not a...
Right. But like Spirel or whatever, right? It's just like a name.
Right.
That doesn't have any sort of baggage.
Snow White is
But Snow White is a Grimm's Fairy Tales character, and Briar is as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Briar is Sleeping Beauty. Briar is the name of Sleeping Beauty in Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So those 2 are aligned in some way. There's some weird shit going on, I think. So
interesting.
We'll see. And they're the only 2 in the set. And it's like very bizarre. Briar is a jungler in League of Legends, that's true. Get those dogs out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's that one.
What?
It's the one with it's like
Oh yeah, she's got
the cage thing on her arms, and she got the grippers
my type
out.
for sure. But yeah, so Sleeping Beauty, gender shifted to Briar Schwartzking, and that's why he's asleep.
Interesting,
because he's Sleeping Beauty.
I didn't know her name was Briar.
Yeah,
I thought it was just Aurora.
Yeah, no, that's just a fucking Disney thing. Yeah. Anyways, that's your Grimm's fairy tale lore, I guess.
Cool.
And that's also your tidbits for the week. So thanks, chat. Hi, Poro. Poro, you don't play League of Legends. Don't tell me that. We have some more to talk about.
Yeah.
Not DTR lore. We're all the way back.
And this dude that just showed up in chat, perfect timing, so we can shit on him a little bit.
Oh, true. Yeah. We have some more to talk about. And we're all the way back to Alchemical Revolution. We are once again revisiting Diana. And we mentioned this a bit at the start of the show, but I do think it is important to note that this is a pretty big deal, that we're getting this second lore article. And we talked about the first one. Well, I didn't, but you guys were here, talked about the first one like 3 weeks ago. It's been a pretty quick turnaround, and I know, and I think she said this on Twitter, like this one wasn't written by Belle, the last one wasn't either. She's taken more of a sort of like a directorial role, a puppeteering or whatever, which leads us to be able to get more lore more often, and I think that is like uber important. Maybe it's not important to you people, but it should be. It's very important to us. I think that being able to associate with these characters and sort of relate to them is really important. I think especially in a time like now where DTR is so popular and we're getting so many new players because of the setting and because of the sort of art direction of DTR, I think it's a really important time to give people the connection to the lore that, keeps them with the game long term. This is something that we've seen with other games like, the Devil itself, Magic the Gathering, back when it was cool and people cared. Like, people did care about those characters, circa 15 years ago. The storyline did matter until they blew it all up and started printing Spider-Man and Captain Spock or whatever the fuck they're doing now. And so I hope that this is the new norm and that we do get more lore more often, and especially in relation to the current set. So I hope that we get CL2. I understand holistically why we don't have it yet, and I think so far, which again is a first, which is pretty cool, CL1 I think leads us quite well to the product sheet on PTM. You can read the product sheet on DTR, you can read CL1, you can then read the product sheet on PTM, and there is a through line. You're yes. I understand what's happening. I understand how they got to this point. I understand where the story is, which was not the case with Mortal Ambition.
Right.
Because we got Kongming 1, but Kongming 1 did not take us all the way, it felt, from
the beginning to
HVN. Yeah,
right.
We're what happened in the middle there? And then we just randomly get, the HVN, and we're oh, somebody's been assassinated and there's an evil demon man. And it's what? I don't know what's happening. But in DTR we do. So I hope that is the case. And Diana, being one of our DTR champions, we got these 2 lore articles which sort of set up her involvement in the story currently, which I think is pretty cool. So that's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Steven, how you feel?
I think
that lore.
I think this article is super cool, and I think it buries the lead a little bit, calling it Diana 1.
It's Arisanna 1.
No, I think this is Tonaris 1, actually. This is the most Tonaris lore that we've ever received.
Boy lore?
And it's kind of crazy.
He's hot.
I have a completely different image of how ALC was, because we didn't really have any information on it.
Yeah.
Lore wise.
Right.
We knew there was a bunch of Grand Archive champions and they were doing something, and there's something called the Obliviate that were there.
Right. Yeah, I think we were sort of the assumption, both you and I, that the Obliviate was sort of the
villain?
bad guy. Well, obviously they're not part of this sort of civil war. I think that was clear, but they were like some sort of outside thing. But we get so much art like on Diablerie or whatever of our champions fighting Vanitas, and Vanitas like steals Rose at some point, and we're like, oh well, this guy's surely doing some villainous stuff, and he is. But we get a new light of Tenoris in this.
Yeah, that guy's just evil.
Yeah, he's just like kind of a bad guy.
Yeah,
he's like, sure, I guess like sort of masquerading around your free will and your options to choose your destiny or whatever he's going on about while they're fighting. But the man is just like fighting for slavery, like more or less, right? Which is like pretty bad.
It's kind of crazy.
Like the resistance is fighting for the
free automatons.
Yeah, no pun intended. The autonomy of the the automatons to have like free will and sentience.
Yeah.
Whereas Tony just wants workers to work in the factory or whatever.
Right, which is crazy.
Which is pretty crazy. So that guy's like giga evil. Who would have thought?
Yeah. So we get a little bit of insight on him, where like him and another person originally were sent to Azoth.
Yeah, and he killed them probably.
It doesn't say that.
Based, by the way, you're canceled for that's crazy.
It mentions that his partner dies. Yeah. We don't understand. Yeah. We weren't enlightened to how that happened. Right. However, it might be that he just killed that guy.
Maybe, man.
They like got there and they were like, Cordelia, who I didn't know was the queen of Dermicia.
Yeah, the Oris Kaiser.
Yeah,
Kaiser means emperor in German.
I know that, but like I didn't realize that. Oh well, German too. Yeah, that's not looking good. Not looking good for Neos, huh?
There's some, but some.
I didn't realize she was the queen of
connection.
Dermigia. So like Tony and this other guy surely get there.
Yeah,
and this guy's like, oh man, what Dermigia is doing to all these automatons is pretty fucked up. And Tony's like, I don't think
seems kind of cool.
Yeah, it seems sick, dude.
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's hard to say. I don't think that Tony is like we're obviously making him out to be an absolute monster. He's probably not that bad. But there is like an illusion here as well, and this has been mentioned in other like tidbits of lore about Tony, but like you said, we really haven't gotten any sort of concrete Tony lore until now. That he's sort of like defected from the Grand Archive. He like talks to Diana briefly about her like goals, and he's like, I don't want to hear about the Grand Archive's goals or whatever. I want to know what you want. Right. And so it's very clear that he has some sort of ill will or
I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Corpo fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, man.
Don't be a Corpo VTuber, and that's what
Corpo.
That's what Tony's all about.
He just wants the mindless workers to do all this work for him.
Yeah.
This guy just like stands still and summons robots. Like what a
dude. It's so
what
fun.
A nerd.
I love it. He's just like. Yeah, when you're dealing with a sniper, you got to aim for the shadows.
Yeah, he just puts the spotlights everywhere.
He just like shot like 30 swords into shadows. Or it's just like it was pretty sick.
Yeah, he's something, man.
Dude, I don't know. In our headcanon, both of my favorite champions.
Yeah,
not great.
Yeah, well, yeah, Seal's a freak for sure, the certified freak.
Yeah,
but and Tony's a monster.
So. But I think we should discuss who this title is, or this lore article is titled after.
Arisanna.
Yep, Arisanna.
Yeah, man.
So this article does, we'll rewind a little bit. This article does open with Diana and Arisanna sitting on a bench, and Diana's staring up at the sky, and she's tracing constellations with her finger.
Mm-hmm.
And Arisanna we're like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out the constellations. And then Arisanna goes into her, like...
Tylenol fueled.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, I made you this astrolabe so you could track the stars.
Yeah.
And it just doubled down the fact that Diana,
big old dummy.
She a dummy.
Yeah.
And Arisanna, like her teacher.
Big old smarty.
She's like, I'm gonna teach you about the constellations. And I think that sets the path to why Diana sort of becomes more she attunes to Astra when she gets to Lucenia.
Yeah, so we've had these 2 Diana articles, and there's been some there's like some cool fights in it. We get a cool Diana Tony fight in this one. There was a cool Diana Tristan fight in the other one, and LB Daddy Warbucks Sean Cronin wanted to be here today to talk about it, as he was here for the last one. He's stuck on baby duty. But Sean was really excited by all of the like allusions to cards, which they certainly do. They do it for Tony. They do it for Dinah as well. Sort of references to, Umbra cards, whatever, Summon Sentinels.
Yeah, Summon Sentinels, False Step.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's really cool. But I personally think the more interesting part about these sets of articles is they're very dialogue heavy, and that's not something that we've really had in the past. I think that's sort of been the new trend. CL1 as well. Lots of dialogue in it. But these two, I guess, Diana stories are sort of about her and Umbra, which I think is really interesting. Umbra is something that we've talked about on the show here, and I think personally it's probably the most interesting of the advanced elements. I got scolded. I think it was in Taipei. I got scolded by Celadar, and he was like, "Hey, not everybody that's attuned to Umbra is evil. Like Umbra isn't necessarily an evil thing." And I think that's really what these 2 Diana articles are about. Is her like sort of struggle with her past, and how that struggle with her past affects how she is treated by Umbra and by the Gloamspire Lance, which seems to be like sort of, like sapping her emotions out of her. It's still hard for me to not associate Umbra with evil. It's like very obvious that Diana is not evil, but like, this Umbra influence that she has seems just like holistically negative, and it like almost has her kill Tenoris, which is like, very much against her creed to just murder this guy, even if he is evil. So the influence that Umbra has, I think it's more like it's a heightening of your emotions, and that's sort of where the problem comes in, right? Is that Diana is sort of plagued by this dark this dark past. We get a little bit of detail on that her village was raided, and her family was murdered, and that's all, pretty grim. And so obviously she ends up attuning to Umbra in Azoth, and she doesn't love the sort of effect that it has on her, and we see that throughout these 2 articles.
Yeah, I don't think Umbra is inherently evil, like you were saying, like Sil told you. I think that what it does is it saps your positive emotions and heightens your negative emotions, and I think that Diana can't handle that. I think Diana's negative emotions scare her.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like CL, I think, leans more heavily.
Well, that guy's also a freak, but
right. So I but like as a duality, right? Like
he handles it.
He handles it a little bit better. Whereas like.
We'll see. When we get CL2, assuming we'll see.
Right. Yeah. I think he handles it a little bit better. Tristan, like,
nailed it.
Perfect. She
very
loves
good at it. Yeah. I think it's all about that sort of control of power as well. Like we see, it's important to remember that when you become a level 3 champion, right? Like you're not necessarily like godhood or whatever, right? That's the level. That's the level 4s, level 5s.
You're close,
but you are like an extremely powerful being. Like probably more powerful than basically anyone else in your sort of plane of existence that is not also a champion or higher. And so we do see that sort of power warp people. We saw that happen to Kongming and to Tony to a certain extent, right? But yeah, I think the whole reason why we're getting Diana 1 and 2 now, which might feel a little bit out of place. Obviously, ALC was a long time ago. ALC as a sort of construct was even before we had Bell as the creative lead, and a lot of the sort of like story beats from that, I think, have sort of been lost to time and sort of in the shuffle of, who's handling this, and we've mentioned a couple of times they were writing a light novel at some point that did get canceled, and so some of those ideas sort of get mixed around. But I think the reason why we're getting Diana 1 and 2 now is because Ari's in the next set.
Right.
No, that's not true. That's
not. Well, surely, right? Like,
well, that's not where I was going. I was just.
But like, we should segue into it, right? Because like RDO, we know as the capstone set.
Yeah.
We've been told that all classes are getting support.
Yeah.
And that it is a like through line for all of the sets that we've had up till now.
Yeah, new Ari. Yeah, I agree.
So new Ari, new Tony.
Yeah, I wish. I don't necessarily think that's true, especially since PTM's a cleric set. But no, I mean, I think the real reason why we got these 2 articles is, like you said, is sort of to set up why Diana does what she does in DTR. And so we see her sort of struggling with her identity in her past, and this sort of emotion-sucking Umbra power that she's attained is not making anything better. But she has this sort of connection with Ari, which is super cute. And Diana, like you said, she's like looking up at the constellations, and she's reminded of her home because this is something that her grandmother would do with her. And so she finds like sort of solace in looking up at the stars in between these, bouts of having to go, fight Tony and whatever, fight Tristan, all these like sort of exerting tasks that she has to go on where she has to call upon this Umbra power. She finds some solace in between those, looking up at the stars and finding solace in her friend Arisanna as well. And then, at the end of the article, we have Ari has like made her an astrolabe, and it's not an astrolabe that sees the world that she's in, but it's an astrolabe that sees her home world. So it gives her sort of a like, connection to her old life, and maybe helps her move past her, tragic past a little bit.
Right.
And then we have to assume that she uses this sort of connection that she's made with Ari and made with the stars is what points her towards DTR, because in her description for DTR, it's like she's looking to move past her dark past and looks to the stars for, guidance. And so I think it's really cool that we see why she comes to that decision. The only thing that I'm concerned about, Stephen, here we go. We've made it all the way to talking about Arisanna. Is they have, it was like, I like almost cried. I was reading this article. I have an unhealthy connection to this game. And I thought it was so sweet that, Ari gives her this little astrolabe to remind her of home. And they have this like such palpable connection. And they seem really close, the roommates or whatever. Where's Ari now? Diana's off in Underland doing God knows what, and the sort of like we don't really get to learn much about Diana in DTR when we look at CL1, because it's like all through CL's perspective, and Diana's like there, but she doesn't really say much, and she doesn't really, we don't get any sort of inclination of why she's doing what she's doing.
Right.
And so it feels weird. Where's Ari? They're not a gruesome twosome anymore.
I would like to think that the Grand Archive chooses who goes on what mission.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably why Arisanna is not here.
Yeah.
Because they were friends. And I as the more lore and stuff we get, I don't know if the Grand Archive is holistically good.
Well, it's sort of like, I think of it as, it's sort of like this omnipotent presence, right? But like, they don't give a shit who you're friends with, you know? Like, it's like, oh, I chose this champion because their skill set is appropriate for task. And they just like send them on their way. They're not like, how are they going to feel about that? Like, that's obviously why we got into this whole debacle with, CL forcing his way through some portals because he wasn't chosen to, go save his mistress, right? Yeah. And he was like, well, fuck it, I'll do it myself. But
yeah, I actually, like, I don't know, that whole forcing himself, it felt like he wasn't a Grand Archive champion and like forced his way into the Grand Archive.
Yeah, it just seems really hard for somebody that's not,
Right. Yeah, like, I don't know.
Of any sort of godhood or whatever.
Right.
Force yourself through the gates of heaven. It's like pretty hard, I assume.
Yeah. But I love this. I love this article because we get a little bit of all of the LCL champions that had nothing, right? Yep. So we learned a little bit more about Arisanna and like how she does stuff. We learned a lot about Diana and her motivations and her past, and then we learned a lot about Tony, just like incidentally.
Yeah,
where it's like, hey, he was here with someone else. That person died.
That's crazy.
Now
that dude for sure a murderer.
Now he doesn't like the Grand Archive.
Yeah,
and he's aligned himself with Cordelia.
Yeah,
for some reason. And I would love a Tonoris one. Give me that story where he kills his best friend or something.
It's a very Gollum situation.
Kills his best friend.
Strangles that guy.
Yeah. Kills his best friend because Cordelia's hot.
Yeah, I would. My queen, understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony's cringe, and we should get Ari one instead. And I would bet if you put out a poll, Grand Archive TCG on X.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Just give us Tony.
If you wanted Arisanna lore or Tonoris lore, I would be stunned if that number was anything other than like 80-20, and I think that's generous.
That's cringe, dude.
So
no one cares about this stupid alchemist.
Could be pretty cool. When Bell, when's RE1 coming out? You can write that one personally and send it to me personally.
I don't like alchemy.
Okay,
give me robots.
You like robots? Hey man, set 10. I'm telling you. That's my hot prediction.
Maybe I think Tony's never Tony's probably not coming back into the story.
I think they will. It's hard. Boys are tough. Boys are tough. There's a reason why, if you guys have ever, shout out to Limbo, if you've ever been to an Ascent and had to have your sleeves replaced because you're a degenerate and you've got some weird shit on your material deck or whatever, they replace your sleeves with Tony sleeves because that's what there's an abundance of. Because he's a boy. So, it's hard. I understand where they're coming from.
Well,
I think he will come back.
I don't think so, right?
I think they care about all of their Grand Archive champions.
But
I guess he's not a Grand Archive champion.
That's what I'm saying.
We'd have to go back to Azoth. He'll be there for Return to Ravnica.
Right. So when we go back to Azoth, he'll be there as Kaiser Tony because...
yeah. Grand Kaiser Tenoris.
Grand Kaiser Tenoris.
However, that's who you stand, guys. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Kind of fishy.
But who knows? We might get like a resolution to ALC where it sees him like.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Because we don't have that right now. We don't know how that catastrophe ended, or really what the catastrophe on Azoth was.
Well, so yeah, they allude to it a little bit. Obviously, there's like this civil war, right? And I think Vanitas's and the Oblivion's involvement is like sort of secondary. That they mention in this article, which I think is interesting. I don't know if it's been mentioned before. They mentioned the World Seed.
It was mentioned in Diana 1, and that is what Vanitas is looking for.
Yeah, so it gives me this impression that all of the worlds have this, keyhole. Yep. This world seed that sort of is central to their existence, right? And if the world seed's stolen or destroyed or whatever, the world will sort of like fall to ruin. Right. And so Grand Archive champions are sent to worlds that are on the brink of disaster being some sort of interfering with the world seed that would cause the eventual collapse of the world. So Diana and Arisanna are trying to stop this civil war in a way to protect the world seed.
And a cool thing that we kind of parsed from Diana 1 about the world seeds is that they are used to create things because Claude made the Mercure Heart using the power of the world seed.
Yeah.
So you could assume that the other divine relics are also generated using the world seed of each of the worlds.
Yeah, at least some of them. Some of them are, maybe made by Proxia or whatever. Right. But it is this very powerful sort of source of energy or whatever that, I assume is what the Grand Archive is protecting.
we do know for Vanitas at least that whatever world he is from, that world seed is gone.
Yeah. The like world exploded, or whatever, right?
Because like they in his blurb on the website, it mentions that he is found his way to Azoth in a way to save his world because it has been destroyed.
And so I guess it makes a little bit more sense now, right? He wants to like steal Azoth's world seed so that he can bring it back home and you know like, sort of recreate whatever,
like resuscitate his world,
right? Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah. I think it is cool, and I hope in RDO that we do get a bunch of resolutions, because like the problem that we have right now, at least from us, you know, on a lore nerd perspective, is like time marches onward. We know that there are resolutions. Like we see the, you know, like here's DOA, here's Uther getting murdered, here's peaceful reunion. Right, like there is some sort of resolution. You know, here's DOA or here's ALC. You know, here's MRC, big battles and diableries and whatever. And then Diana's fine; she's on DTR. Right. So like there is some sort of resolution. We just don't know what
we can also like point to art.
Yeah,
because before they went to full art URs.
Yeah.
When we got alters, we got alternate art.
Yeah.
For ALC and MRC, and one of those is Eternal Kingdom.
Yeah,
and you look at Eternal Kingdom from ALC, and it's fine and happy.
Yeah, and it's on fire.
Then, the next one, the whole place is on fire. Yeah. So I would assume that Dormigia lost.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Burn that place to the ground.
They burned that place to the ground, and they freed all the automatons, and happy ending.
Right. But yeah, it would be nice to have that a little bit more literal, and I think that's what RDO is going to be. I'm curious about how they're going to handle the like timeline of RDO, or if it's just going to be like, you know, sort of like vignettes, right? Not necessarily moving our timeline forward, but it's sort of vignettes of this is how this happened, this is how this happened.
I think I would prefer that.
Yeah.
I would prefer if the capstone set isn't a like world or whatever.
Yeah.
It is a remembrance of the worlds prior to that capstone set.
Right.
Where you get it and it's like, hey, here's the story beat here.
Yeah.
Concluded. Here's this story beat concluded. Right. Here's this story beat concluded. And then moving on past the capstone set, now we're refreshed. Yeah. And, you know, we're all caught up and moving on to the next world.
Yeah. And then we get our Grand Archive Infinity War, Marvel Superheroes coming out next May.
Don't even speak that into existence, dude. Holy.
But no, I do think it would be cool to have a sort of central story as well, especially as we get more.
I'm also hoping homeworld lore.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I assume that RDO is like vignettes about things that have happened in our past worlds from the view of the homeworld. Like, that's what it is in my brain. I think that's what makes the most sense. Is it's sort of like Regaling Regalia, right, where we have, you know, some sort of homeworld central characters, debriefing or whatever what has happened in other places, and I think that would be a cool way to like intersect, you know, homeworld stuff.
I would
and also
really
RDO.
like a Regaling Regalia 2.
Yeah, me too. So cool.
In RDO, like that would be so sick. And then like it gives you the hints like we got for the Alice in Wonderland set, where it was like there's this weird cool mirror that reflects things.
Yeah.
If we got that hint in RDO. Moving forward,
I think it would be so cool.
Like every capstone set, we get a Regaling Regalias of some god returning from somewhere and talking with Proxia.
Yeah,
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, we've said this on the show before, and I think it still remains true even as we get more lore. I think Regaling Regalia is like absolutely my favorite piece that they've put out so far. I'm just like, I'm very, very interested in the Grand Archive stuff outside of these sort of individualized stories, right? And so I hope that we do sort of get a through line and get some sort of plot that we can follow that is Grand Archive centric and outside of these individual sort of worlds and these like character stories. And I think that they are trying to focus more, especially we see, you know, Diana returning, Merlin returning, right? Like the game's only 3 years old, but I think they're going to try harder to sort of flesh out the characters that we have, and I would assume that like going forward we're going to see a lot of repeat characters, and I think that's like a really smart way to do it. I think like DTR block has been really cool in that we're getting 4 new champion lineages, right? But it's only 2 new characters, and I think that is a really like respectful way to treat it, to like still uplift the characters that we already have and sort of flesh them out as characters, so that, you know, when we get our Marvel superheroes Grand Archive Infinity War, like it matters that these characters are coming back because you have a connection, you know, outside of gameplay to
right.
Lorraine or Rai or whatever. But like, you know, look at those DOA champions. We know like basically nothing about them other than the old lore from DOA. Where, you know, you want to flesh out these characters so that they mean something when they come back, and people are like, oh my God, you know, why is Xander here or whatever. And so I would probably assume that that's going to be their plan going forward. I don't know anything. Maybe that's not true, but I think it would be really cool to see some returning characters.
Yeah, I would really love to see Rai or Xander come back.
Yeah, I think I would be, you know, boys are cringe, but like I would be thrilled to see any of the characters returning. Even like, you know, as not a Diana player, I think it was really cool to see Diana come back. As a devout Merlin hater, I think it's really cool to see Merlin come back. And so I hope that we stay on this trend where like you get a mix of the brand new and a mix of, you know, a new look at the older characters. And especially, you know, we've talked about it on the show, but we will eventually have to rotate some characters out of this game. That will happen eventually. I know it's a couple years down the line, but you guys should be thinking about it now, just so you're prepared. I'm not quite yet mentally prepared to leave Ari behind. So hopefully, you know, we get a new Ari, and that'll sort of have to be the plan going forward, right? Mm-hmm. Like you become associated with a class, I feel like, in this game, but so many people become associated with a character, and they're like, you know, I'm not a Ranger player, I'm a Diana player, right? And so, you know, now Diana players do get that option, but that will eventually become a problem for these like sort of character loyalists, and I hope that they respect that and give us some more, you know, Tony 2. Yeah. And he's playable this time. Tony 2, playable. That's his colon. It's Tenoris, playable.
He's a football player.
Oh,
true. It's the football set.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Can we do the race car set next?
Yeah.
Make lots of digs at another game today.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it I do like to quote myself as a Guardian player.
Yeah.
But you know, I am a CL player for the moment.
Sure.
Until he rotates out.
Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, right?
But like, I definitely like my when I talk to people about it, I definitely lead with I am a Guardian player at heart,
right?
Because like my favorite characters in the game have always been the Guardians,
right?
Like since we learned about Tenoris, I was like, what the fuck is an obelisk? And that was all I was concerned about.
Yeah, back in Houston, man.
Yeah, I was like, all I was concerned about was what does an obelisk do? 30 health is crazy. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I'm still a Guardian stan.
Yeah, I would. I think almost always when I talk to people about it, that is sort of the answer that I get. Right? Is I am an X player, but my favorite character is Y. Right? You know, like I'm a cleric player, and I'm very excited for Alice. Can't wait. But you know, Ari is my favorite character, and so like there is always a, you know, sort of a delineation, right, in that way. But I think it helps that you become more attached to these characters if we see them more often.
Right. I can't wait for
hopefully we will.
Guardian.
Yeah.
Blood
Guardian stuff.
Guardian. Just like heals himself every turn or something.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Could be cool.
Could be cool.
And you know what else is cool, chat? You. Thank you for watching. And next week, if you find yourself in the New England area, you can find us here at Massachusetts Regionals at White Boy Games, 200 East Main Street, Marlborough, Massachusetts. We will be there. We'll be kissing hands and shaking babies. And it's gonna be a good time. I have to figure out scheduling, so I will message that man off stream. But as far as I know, one head of organized play, Theodore, will be here for Massachusetts Regionals. And if I can get him in here on Friday. Maybe he'll be right here, pinned against this wall.
Yep.
For your pleasure next week. But after that, it'll be Niagara. And so there will be a brief break from your normally scheduled Lineage Break podcast for Ascent Niagara. And then after that, we'll have the big old Niagara recap show. You can look forward to that, talking about all the things that are announced at Ascent Niagara. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate you. We will be back next week, maybe with a Theodore. If you have any questions for one Lineage Break Theo making his first appearance on the Lineage Break podcast, let us know. You can add us on Twitter, at Lineage Break, at Lineage Break SL for me and Steve, respectively. We both have each other tagged, I believe, in our bios, so you can find one. You can find us both.
Yep. You can also find me on Bluesky if you prefer Bluesky, at Lineage Break Steve.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I would like to prefer Bluesky.
But please,
people were
I would prefer you message me on Discord.
Yeah, there you go. You can find us on Discord.
I Lineage Break Steve in all of the places. Lineage Break Cam.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm actually LB Steve, #1 CL fan on Merlin's.
I don't know. We're in there.
Yeah.
You can find us.
If you just at any Lineage Break member and say, "Give me Steve," someone will get you to me.
Give me Steve. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that.
What's my AIM ID? It was Crimson574.
That's pretty good.
It's
not that other one.
Based off of the Crimson Alchemist from Full Metal Alchemist.
Maybe there needs to be an LB podcast Discord. That is...
I have brought that up multiple times.
And I will tell you, chat, the same thing that I will tell Steven. I do a very poor job of managing my store's Discord and the LB team Discord, and so if Steve wants to make a Discord, that's fine. I'm a terrible
chat.
Discord
you guys
mod,
want me to make a Discord? I'll make a Discord today.
If you guys want to be our Discord kittens, you can let us know. Steve will make a Discord, and I will be in it, and maybe I'll
talk in it
to type every once in a while.
But yeah, I actually make a fan LB Discord, then we can all have a conversation together. That's not this. And you can at me whenever you want.
That's true.
And I can stream games and VC for you.
Whoa.
And we can finally do the
Mr. Streamer,
the Perfy Steve
the Kingdom Hearts
podcast. But yeah. If that's something that's interested, if people are interested in, I'm 100% down to make it.
Yeah, let us know.
But we haven't up until this point because, like Cam said, there hasn't really been a need for it.
League in-houses for sure. Yeah, I'm in.
All right,
sign me up.
So here's the thing, chat. I'll re-download League for this.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'll come out of retirement if we're doing League in-houses. And I'll put in some real effort. I'll go through the Perfy League of Legends training school if I have to.
Yeah, Perfy's a goat, right?
He pulled a Poro out of bronze, it looked like.
Is that true?
That's what he said in chat earlier.
Or is that a thanks for lending me your Lamborghini sort of situation?
Maybe. I don't know. Because listen, I haven't played League of Legends in...
Oh, you played a little while ago with us.
Yeah, but I don't count that as playing League of Legends, right? If you're playing League of Legends for less than 10 hours a week, that's not playing League of Legends. Oh man, what was it 2015?
That was 10 years ago, man.
That was the end of my league. I played from 2010 to 2015.
You're old. You're an old man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, it's time for lunch.
It is time for lunch. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, I'll make a LB Discord.
We'll post about it on the internet. You can join it. We'll make a community post on YouTube as well.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week here. Special guest, maybe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.